Blackfish Gallery this morning with a group of your friends, and we've gathered this morning just to say hello to you, send you birthday wishes, and say that we look forward to your visit in Portland in September. So I'm going to start off the morning. Our connection is largely through Denata, where you and Cheryl and I spent some wonderful years together, and that of course takes me back to Mexico. So I wanted to tell you a brief tale about my most recent trip to Mexico. Pedro sent me an invite to come down for the quinceañera of his daughter Agustina in August, and not knowing what I was getting into, I flew down to Zihuatanejo, thinking that this little Nahua family would have a little family celebration for Agustina's quinceañera. And of course it turned into much more than that, with a blend of Nahuan, Mestizo, and American cultures. Pedro, about that tall, and his wife about that tall and that wide, dressed in their native Nahua costumes, along with all the extended family in their Nahua costumes. And then Agustina in a beautiful blue satin gown with 6 attendants, all in beautiful blue satin gowns, and 6 young men in dark black heavy wool suits on a humid August day in the middle of the afternoon. And we all headed down to the church. Pedro's Toyota King Cab pickup, beribboned and covered with flowers, and the kids all hanging out in the back end. We go down to the church where the priest does his thing, and there are video cameras there, and half the church is filled with all of us cheering on Agustina in her blue, and the other half a young woman who's also turned 15 with her whole entourage in pink. And then again, all these lovely Nahua women with their hair parted down the middle and in long braids. Oh, I'm done already. Well, you know what, Joel? I'll tell you the rest of the story when you come up in September. And when Margarita, the little girl, turns 15, you and Cheryl have to join us. Hope to see you then.
Hey, Joel. Happy birthday. I just want to give you a quick hello. Hope you're feeling better and get back on your feet. And I've got my coffee in my hand. I know we've had a lot of coffee together, and every time I hear your name, I can't help but think of Mississippi mud. See you soon.
Hi, Joel. Can you say hi, Joel?
Hi, Joel.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love you.
I will do.
Okay. Wait, bye. See you later.
See you later.
Okay.
Joel, greetings from Portland. I'm reminded of the first time that I remember meeting you was when I lived on Hooker Street on the where now the YMCA first is. And you came over for dinner, and I'd recently moved in and gotten divorced and had never cooked anything in my life, and you asked where the salt and pepper was, and I didn't have any. I didn't know you were supposed to have it. So we have a long history of eating together at Hung Farlow's. I'm reminded of that. Hung Farlow's no longer exists today, but up until 7 or 8 years ago it did. But we found a replacement, and Elise can describe that.
So when you come to town and are feeling better, Joel, we thought we'd take you to the Decoy in Linton. It's the best Chinese food in town so far. Looking forward to seeing you, and get better soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, Joel, it's Randy. I've been in every place I could think of where I could find some peanut butter pie in the last couple of days, because I thought, you know, all those times that we went to whatever that place was in the upstairs in Old Town, where every evening seemed to have to end in order for you to have some peanut butter pie, and I never had it. And so I thought, damn it, I'm going to have some peanut butter pie in front of Joel just to prove that I was right, that it wasn't very good. So when you come in September, we're going to go out for some peanut butter pie, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to eat it and prove to you that it really isn't very good. So until then, I hope you're feeling better, and we'll see you in September.
Hi, Joel. I should have gone with food, but instead I decided to go with hikes, and I don't know if I can remember them all, so I brought some notes here, because it seemed to me that some of our best times were on walks, and I was trying to think of some of the epic ones that we've taken, and I remember one of the first ones was when Susan and I lived in that little house in Corvallis, and you came to visit, and we ate peyote. I think we choked it down with orange juice. I was never able to drink orange juice again. I still don't drink it. But then we walked and walked along the Willamette and the Marys River. Probably we walked for 8 or 10 hours, it seemed to me, on that one. And then I remember visiting you in your little house in St. John's, and we took many epic walks around St. John's from there. That was when Susan and I were cadging baths and lived in Washougal and had to come to your house to take baths. In fact, I think you wrote a column about walking in St. John's, although maybe I'm not remembering that correctly. You visited us when I was at a convention in San Antonio once too, and I remember a great walk we took there. I think it was along the river walk, and then we came up above, and Susan bought some magic power at a Botanica. And then, let's see, what was another great walk? Selwood from your studio with the black cat across the street. We had so many great walks in Selwood, especially when Susan and I lived over on Sherritt Street, and you had your studio down on 13th. Those were some really great walks. They've got a bridge over McLaughlin now, but I believe we used to run across that railroad trestle together too, to get across McLaughlin and down to Selwood. And then, but the most epic and the greatest wasn't really a walk, but it was the tour you gave us in your car, that little Toyota around Miami. And all those wonderful Cuban takeout places. You'd always have to stop at these little back door windows. And then we'd go on and go into all the galleries and everything. And it was wonderful to see your whole life there in Miami on that tour. I remember that big juice palace where we kicked up all the dust and all the dancers gave us dirty looks, and all those wonderful times we had. I really loved seeing your Miami, Joel, and I'll be coming down to see your Puerto Rico in early September. Until then.